In the heart of ancient Egypt, a land where the sun's relentless gaze scorched the earth and the Nile's life-giving waters nurtured an empire, a series of unspeakable horrors unfolded. These were not the ordinary trials of life, but divine plagues, each more terrifying than the last, sent to punish a stubborn king and a complacent nation. Among these plagues, the horde of insects stands out as a particularly maddening and relentless torment. This video delves into the fourth plague described in the book of Exodus, exploring its significance, the reactions it elicited, and its place in the broader narrative of the Exodus. The fourth plague, known in Hebrew as Arav, is a vivid example of the precision and specificity with which the biblical text describes the plagues. The term Arav is derived from a root that means to mix, and most scholars agree that it likely refers to a mixed multitude of noxious insects. While the King James Version translates this as a swarm of flies, modern interpretations suggest a more diverse and chaotic horde, perhaps including beetles, locusts, and other pests. The choice of this plague is significant because it follows the plague of lice, which affected the land but not the people directly. The horde of insects, however, invaded the homes and lives of the Egyptians, making their daily existence unbearable. The impact of this plague is described in Exodus chapter 8, verses 24. And the Lord did so. There came great swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh and the houses of his servants and the people, and the land was ruined by the swarms of flies. The text emphasizes the widespread devastation, suggesting that the horde was not just a nuisance, but a catastrophe that ravaged the land. The use of the phrase, "the land was ruined," underscores the severity of the infestation, indicating that the insects not only tormented the Egyptians, but also destroyed crops, livestock, and property. This plague was a direct assault on the prosperity and stability of Egypt, challenging the very foundations of the Egyptian way of life. The geographical segregation of the Hebrews in Goshen, a region in northeastern Egypt, is a crucial element in the narrative. Exodus chapter 8, verses 22 to 23 states, "But on that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, where my people live, so that no swarms of flies will be there, in order that you may know that I, the Lord, am in this land. But the first will make a distinction between my people and your people. This sign will take place tomorrow." This distinction is not merely a physical separation, but a divine protection that highlights the special status of the Hebrews. The fact that the plague did not affect Goshen serves as a clear sign to Pharaoh and the Egyptians that the Hebrews were under God's protection, reinforcing the message that God was acting on their behalf. The response of Pharaoh to this plague is a mix of desperation and reluctance. Exodus chapter 8, verses 25 to 28, describes how Pharaoh, overwhelmed by the infestation, offers a compromise to Moses and Aaron. He agrees to let the Hebrews go to sacrifice to their God, but insists that they stay within Egypt. This offer is a clear indication of Pharaoh's growing desperation, as he is willing to make concessions to alleviate the suffering of his people. However, Moses rejects this compromise, emphasizing that the Hebrews must go far into the wilderness to perform their sacred rites. This exchange highlights the ongoing tension between Pharaoh's reluctance to lose his slave labor and the divine imperative to free the Hebrews. The significance of the horde of insects extends beyond the immediate suffering it caused. It is a powerful symbol of the divine judgment against Egypt and the gods it worshipped. In ancient Egyptian religion, various deities were associated with insects and animals, and the infestation of these creatures would have been seen as a direct affront to the gods. The plague of insects, therefore, not only disrupted the physical and economic well-being of Egypt, but also challenged the spiritual and religious foundations of the society. By targeting the very symbols of Egyptian divinity, God demonstrated his superiority over the Egyptian pantheon, a theme that is repeated throughout the Exodus narrative. The horde of insects also serves as a bridge between the earlier, less severe plagues and the more catastrophic ones that follow. The first few plagues, such as the Nile turning to blood and the infestation of frogs, were more symbolic and less directly harmful. The horde of insects, however, marked a turning point, as the plagues became more intense and the suffering of the Egyptians more acute. This escalation sets the stage for the remaining plagues, each more devastating than the last, culminating in the death of the firstborn. The narrative of the fourth plague is a testament to the power of divine intervention and the resilience of the Hebrews. Despite the overwhelming odds and the relentless oppression of Pharaoh, the Hebrews remained steadfast in their faith. The protection of Goshen and the divine signs that accompanied the plagues served as a source of hope and strength for the Hebrews, reinforcing their belief that God was with them and would ultimately deliver them from bondage. In the end, the horde of insects was not just a plague, but a profound lesson in the power of divine judgment and the importance of faith. It was a reminder to Pharaoh and the Egyptians that their might and wealth were no match for the will of God. The story of the fourth plague is a powerful testament to the enduring message of the Exodus, that freedom and deliverance are possible, even in the face of the most formidable adversaries. In conclusion, the horde of insects was a pivotal moment in the Exodus narrative, a symbol of divine judgment and a test of faith for both the Egyptians and the Hebrews. It stands as a vivid reminder of the power of God and the enduring hope of those who trust in Him.